Hey guys, last session was an interesting one. Saxy successfully managed to navigate through his trial, albeit a close call at the end. So who's going to face the Labyrinth next?
I'm gonna go for it, Joe.
Sweet, everyone else okay with that?
Yeah, we decided that after Alexandrew, Lunaria will go next, then I'll go through last.
Are you sure about that? I think I'd prefer it if you didn't go last, buddy.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, Raarh going last would leave him open to potentially no assistance from the rest of us, and I don't like the idea of it. Is that a problem?
So the idea of me or Lunaria going last with no assistance doesn't bother you then?
Not really, no. Let's be clear, my stance on Raarh isn't exactly a secret, so spare me the woe is me act, all right? Him going last makes me uneasy. It's as simple as that. And you, Alexandrew, we've barely known each other for 3 days. What do you expect? My concerns are based on what I know and who I know. So let's focus on the task at hand and not get tangled up in unnecessary drama.
Don't worry about me, buddy. I'll be absolutely fine. I'd rather go last than nobody else will be affected by any of my mistakes.
Do what you will, I'm just saying I'm not thrilled about it, that's all.
So just to confirm, Alexandrew, you're going now, right?
Yeah, I am. So first of all, I want to take a look around. What can I see?
Okay. Your gaze is immediately captivated by the room's two striking features: an enchanting canopy ceiling that mimics a star-filled night sky, its twinkling stars casting a serene glow, and a crystal-clear reflective pool in the center, mirroring the celestial display above. The edges of the pool are lined with softly glowing stones, adding to the room's mystical ambiance. In this tranquil setting, 3 spirits capture your attention. The first spirit, shrouded in a blue aura, exudes a profound sorrow, its movements slow and burdened, eyes shimmering with a depth of unspoken grief. The second, tinged in pale green, flickers with restless energy, its gaze filled with unfulfilled longing. The third is surrounded by a dark, fiery glow, its form bold and agitated, eyes ablaze with defiance.
Is that it? No expansive mystical forest, no obstacle course? Just 3 spirits?
Yep, the whole room is visible to you, and that's all you can see.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to get through this without relying on anyone else, but we will just have to see how it goes. All right, Joe, I want to walk up to the spirits. I need to try figure out what's going on and what I need to do, so I guess I try talk to the first one, the blue one.
Alexandrew, as you approach, you notice that their attention isn't on you. Instead, their ethereal faces flicker back and forth between each other, almost as if they are locked in an exchange that you're yet to understand. The blue spirit seems particularly lost in this interaction, its gaze shifting between the green and fiery-hued spirit, then back to the floor.
Hey, you there. Do you understand me? Can you hear me? Ugh, what the hell am I even doing here?
It's at this point the blue-hued spirit's face shifts towards you, Alexandrew. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, excellent. Now we're making progress. Do you know what I'm meant to be doing?
The blue spirit's voice begins quivering dramatically as it addresses you, Alexandrew. How would I know what you are meant to do? I am engulfed in an ocean of my own grief, drowning in endless waves of despair. How could I possibly see through the veil of my own suffering to glimpse your purpose? My existence is a ceaseless torment, an unending lament.
Oh, brilliant. So I've got to deal with Depresso Espresso over here. I can already tell this is going to be shit. Hey, blue guy, can you at least tell me your name? And maybe why you're so upset?
The spirit, shrouded in its blue aura, responds with a voice soaked in the essence of its own name. I am sadness, an eternal echo of heartache and lost dreams. My sorrow, it is as boundless as the sea, as endless as the night sky. I weep for the joy I can never feel, for the smiles that fade before they reach my eyes. I am the remnant of love unrequited, of hope that withered in the cold light of reality. My essence is woven from the threads of despair that bind the heart, from the aching void left by cherished moments now forever gone. Every moment is a reminder of what can never be mine. My tears are the silent witnesses of 1,000 sorrows, each a story untold, each a dream unfulfilled.
I'm sorry, Joe. I just can't deal with this guy right now. I head over to the green guy instead.
I'm not there, Alexandrew.
Not you, man, the other green guy.
Oh.
Hey, green guy, what's your name?
My name's Raarh.
Dude, can you shut the hell up? I'm trying to do my thing here.
You're the one who's asking what my name is, you goddamn imbecile.
Well, I'm clearly not though, am I? You big dumb fuck.
It's not your fault, Raarh. Alexandrew should really learn to tailor his questions better as to not cause confusion.
To any normal person, how would there be any confusion in this? I am in a trial, which I have to complete alone. So why in the hell would I be saying, hey, Joe? I walk up to Raarh, the guy who I already know, and ask him what his name is. You really are special.
Oh, thanks, man. Hey, Tronald, that was nice of him, wasn't it? Alexandrew says I'm special.
I don't think he means what I think you think he means.
Well, that's not very nice.
Right, let's try this again. Hey, green guy, what's your name? And do you know why sadness is so well, so sad?
The green spirit turns to you, a sharp look on its face. I am envy, and as for sadness, he is nothing but a self-absorbed fool, drowning in his own pathetic little world. He wallows in his misery, completely blind to what he actually has. It's infuriating. There he is, soaking up all this sympathy and concern, and for what? His trivial woes? He garners all this attention, this care, something many long for, yet he does nothing but groan and moan. If only he could see what he takes for granted, the very things others like me crave so desperately.
Right. Well, he's better than the first guy, but I'm going to go speak to the red one now, Joe. Hey, red guy, what's your name, and why is envy so jealous of sadness?
I am hatred. As for envy's jealousy of sadness, it's because envy is weak and pathetic, consumed by its petty longings and desires, always looking at what others have. It's disgusting. Envy covets sadness's ability to drown in its own sorrows, to be seen and pitied. It makes me sick. Envy is blinded by its own inferiority, always wanting, never content, forever stuck in a loop of pathetic yearning. It's disgusting. Envy should despise sadness as I do for being so weak and self-absorbed, but no, it just sits there with its pathetic jealousy, wanting what sadness has. It's all so futile, so worthless. They're both contemptible, lost in their own useless emotions. I despise them both for their weakness, for their inability to rise above their pitiful states.
This is absolutely ridiculous. What does this labyrinth think I am? Some kind of pro bono therapist? Let me get this straight, Joe. My big heroic task here is to hold hands and sing Kumbaya until these emotional train wrecks feel better about themselves. Am I on the right track there? Or did I miss the part where I get a couch and a notepad?
Yeah, Alexandrew, you get the sense that your job here is indeed to be the emotional handyman. But unfortunately, the labyrinth is fresh out of couches and notepads. You'll just have to make do with the floor and your memory.
I feel like this should be easy enough. All I've got to do is try, make them feel better about the situation then, right?
Yep, that's all you have to do. Pretty simple, right?
I get the feeling that it's absolutely the furthest from pretty simple, but let's just see how it goes, I guess.
Listen up, hatred. You're seething over here, but you know what? Being angry all the time isn't doing you any favors. It's exhausting, isn't it? Holding on to all that rage.
You think I can just stop? This anger is what I am.
Nah, that's where you're wrong. This fury, it's just a front. Underneath all that, there's a strength that's not just about being angry. You're more than this constant blaze of rage. Imagine how powerful you could be if you weren't so blinded by your emotions all the time.
Give me a persuasion check, Alexandrew.
Nice, that's a 15 total.
Okay. As you challenge hatred, the spirit's red hue begins to wane, lightening into a softer shade. Hatred appears caught off guard, its fiery presence dimming slightly as it ponders your words.
Maybe I was wrong. That did seem pretty easy.
You just underestimated my charisma, that's all, Tronald.
But this interaction seems to have a ripple effect on the other spirits. Envy's green becomes more vibrant, reflecting jealousy over hatred's moment of respite and the attention it's receiving from Alexandrew. Sadness's blue also deepens, intensifying. It seems your approach, which implied that being consumed by emotion is a weakness, struck a chord in sadness as it interpreted your words as a confirmation of its own perceived pathetic state, exacerbating its feelings of sorrow and isolation.
How about that?
This is stupid. How am I supposed to make them feel better when every time I try, it makes the other two feel worse?
It does seem pretty tricky, but the challenge wouldn't be here if it was impossible. You've just got to think out of the box.
Okay. So let me try to map this out. Hatred responded to my direct approach, but that only made envy and sadness worse off. It's like a twisted game of emotional whack-a-mole. So, who's the key player here? If I keep focusing on hatred, I risk escalating the other two. Envy's jealousy seems reactive, dependent on what's happening with the others. Maybe that's my in. This is more about emotional strategy than just saying the right thing. Time to play this like a game of chess. If I start with envy, perhaps I can mitigate its reaction to my interactions with hatred and sadness. If I can lessen envy's jealousy, maybe it won't flare up so much when I deal with the others. Then there's sadness. But maybe, just maybe, if I can get envy to a more stable place, I can approach sadness without setting off a chain reaction.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to walk up to envy and try to deal with it first.
Okay, awesome.
Now I know this is more than likely just going to flare anger back to its original state, and sadness more so, but it's the best I can do for now. Hey, Envy, I've been watching you, and I've got to say, you've got something unique, something the others don't. You see everything, don't you? You notice what others miss.
Envy looks up at you, the sickly green radiance pouring out of it. What are you talking about? I have nothing, I'm just here.
Ha! Well, that's where you're wrong. You think sadness and hatred have it better, but you're the one with the real power. You have the ability to see beyond yourself, to understand what others feel and want. That's a rare gift.
Give me a straight charisma check, Alexandrew.
Oh, god damn it, that's a 4 total.
Alexandrew, as your words reach Envy, your intentions, though well meant, don't quite land as you hoped. Envy, upon hearing your words, seems to misunderstand your message. Its green hue intensifies dramatically, misconstruing your attempt to highlight its strength as yet another comparison, another instance where it falls short. The spirit flickers wildly, its form becoming more erratic, as if your words have only deepened its sense of jealousy. Sadness, already intensely blue from your previous interaction, now shifts to a wild and inconsolable state. The spirit's form becomes almost turbulent, its sorrow turning into a tempest of despair. The air around sadness crackles with energy, and the room itself begins to react. You feel a trembling under your feet, the very floor of the chamber shaking as if resonating with sadness's uncontrollable grief. It's clear that one more misstep with sadness could lead to something dire, the spirit's emotional state on the verge of causing a maelstrom in the chamber.
You're fucking it up, man. You're turning this place into an emotional dumpster fire.
I'm aware things aren't going to plan, but like hell, you'd be dealing with it any better. You'd probably try to arm wrestle sadness into feeling happier.
Now there's an idea, the Raarh method. Punch your feelings in the face until they behave.
Yeah, because nothing solves deep-rooted emotional trauma like a half-orc's biceps. Why didn't the great philosophers think of that?
I just did.
Right.
Exactly. Why not? A little rough therapy session never hurt anyone. You could slam sadness against a wall and give envy a good kick in the gut. That'll shake them up.
What do you mean, never hurt anyone? By definition, what you just said would hurt someone.
Oh, great plan, Raarh. While we're at it, why don't we challenge hatred to a thumb war? Winner takes all, emotions sorted.
Hey, well, you might as well give it a go since you're fucking the traditional method up so splendidly.
All right, screw this, Joe. I want to try connect to Tronald, channeling Tronald's energy to myself.
Why? What's the point? I'm charismatic in nature, not because of a high charisma stat. You're just wasting my skill set.
I'm not doing this for your so-called charisma, Tronald. I'm doing it for your cheese.
Oh, well, that makes sense, I guess. I still think it's a waste, though, but whatever.
A waste because I'm the one who's using it, not Raarh? Or a waste because you think I could pass this challenge without it?
Yes.
Oh, screw you, man. Joe, I channel Tronald's energy.
All right, Alexandrew, as you come to the realization that you need Tronald's unique skill set for this challenge, you begin to feel an unexpected shift within you. It's as if Tronald's essence is merging with your own.
I'd just like to point out I did not give consent to this.
Well, the Labyrinth doesn't need consent to transfer abilities.
Well, tell it to the judge because I'll be suing the hell out of this place.
Suing a magical labyrinth, I'd love to see how that plays out.
Under normal circumstances, it might be a challenge, but my guy, he was a miracle worker.
And wait a second, you're telling me you've got a lawyer?
Well, more like had a lawyer. You know, back in my past life as Mr. Tanover.
Damn, that's awesome. I feel like we could do with a lawyer, especially if any more of that bullshit happens like it did back in Waterdeep. Raarh wants fair representation. What was he called anyway?
Well, he was anything but fair, at least to the opposition. Nobody, I tell you, nobody could beat him. Went by the name of Paul Badman.
Well, until the day that the Labyrinth sees Paul Badman in court. Let's put a pin in that. All right, Alexandrew, you feel Tronald's energy begin to surge through you, his strengths becoming yours. Now, you find yourself equipped with everything Tronald would typically have at his disposal. His magical knowledge, his strategic mindset, and yes, even his cheese.
All right, I'm about to cheese the hell out of this thing. So first of all, I want to shout over to Sadness. Oi, Sadness. Stop being so depressed and cheer the hell up as I cast Suggestion on it.
You know what, Alexandrew? You've just sparked a brilliant idea for a business venture. Magical therapy. Making people feel better with a wave of a hand.
Doesn't that last only a limited time, though? I mean, suggestion isn't exactly a permanent fix.
Exactly. It lasts 8 hours, and by that point, the client either comes crawling back for more of that sweet, sweet revitalization, or you skip town and set up shop somewhere new.
Sounds like a solid plan if you don't mind the moral ambiguity of it.
The moral what now? Where did you learn that word?
I read it in Tronald's book. Gotta be honest though, I have no idea what it means. It just seemed to fit in that sentence.
Well, even a broken watch is right twice a day, I guess.
Well, I suppose that depends whether it's an analog or a digital watch.
True, but if it was digital, then it would only mean it's right once a day.
It also depends on the moral ambiguity of it.
Well, looks like it's digital after all.
All right, so Sadness rolled a 7 on its save.
Good.
As you cast Tronald's suggestion spell, Alexandrew, the arcane words leave your lips with an unfamiliar but potent force. The magic takes hold of Sadness, and an immediate transformation begins. The intensely deep blue aura that has been consuming the spirit starts to change, lightening in hue with every passing second. The spirit, Once a manifestation of sorrow now begins to brighten. Its form, previously weighed down by grief, seems to lift, as if a great burden is being shed. The blue becomes lighter and lighter, transitioning through softer shades until it reaches a pure, radiant white. This shift is visually striking. Sadness's entire being now exudes a calm, peaceful light, free from the depths of despair that once defined it. Simultaneously, the room responds to this change. The trembling of the floor, the physical manifestation of Sadness's intense emotion ceases. The chamber becomes still, the previously unsettling vibrations now replaced by a tranquil serenity.
Okay, well, at least that's Sadness nullified.
Nullified? You're acting like you just assassinated it. What's next? You gonna neutralize envy?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, just don't take too long. As I said previously, suggestion doesn't last forever.
Well, yeah, I know, but I have got 8 hours. I think that will be long enough, don't you?
Unsure.
What the hell do you mean, unsure?
I can't remember where in that suggestion you said, be happy and continue to be happy for the next 8 hours. So it could very well just be happy like you suggested it to, then the spell ends because the suggestion's task has been completed. So in that scenario, you'd have like maybe 5 seconds?
Oh, come on. Joe, you're not going to screw me like that, are you? You obviously knew what I meant by it.
Well, that's the funny thing with suggestion. You've got to be careful with how you word things, else you can make a real mess out of a situation.
So are you going to screw me over or not?
I'd like to point out that it wouldn't be me screwing you over. You would have done that yourself. However, seeing as it's your first and probably last time using suggestion, I'll be generous with you and let you off.
You're a kind man, Joe.
He's not a man, he's a god. Learn your place, mortal. And it's a hell of a lot kinder than I'd have been with you.
Damn, are you going to just continue to be salty about me using your skill set?
Yep, that's the plan.
Oh, grow up, Tronald. Okay, so how to approach this?
You could always try, not fucking up.
Hey, Envy, let me tell you something. When I was younger, there was always someone to look up to, someone I aspired to be like, someone bigger, someone stronger. They were the reason I got up before the sun and went to sleep long after it had set. But I didn't do this out of envy. It was out of respect. And I think that's what you are, Envy, not jealous, but determined to be better than where you currently are. So stop looking towards others for acceptance. Use that drive, that energy you have, to better yourself. Turn what you call envy into a fuel for your own growth, not as a reason to resent others. You have the potential, the power within you to rise above this. You can be more than what you are now, more than just a spirit of longing and dissatisfaction. Use that yearning as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block.
Envy looks at you, Alexandrew, its flickering form pausing as it takes in your words. The spirit seems to be contemplating, weighing the sentiment behind what you've just said. I'm going to need you to make a persuasion check for me, buddy.
I don't know about persuasion. Sounds pretty deceptive to me.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're relentless. Damn, so that's a 7 total, so I'm going to use one of Tronald's luckies. Better, that's a 16.
Okay, with a roll of 16, boosted by Tronald's lucky, you watch as your words take effect on Envy. The once vibrant green hue that surrounded the spirit starts to dim, gradually losing its intensity. Slowly but surely, the green gives way to a softer light, shifting and transforming until it settles into a calm, pure white. Envy's form, previously flickering with restless jealousy, now embodies a sense of peace and acceptance.
Right, so on to the last one. Hatred, listen to me. Hate only ever leads to suffering, and I don't think that's what you truly want. I believe that the hatred you've been feeling towards sadness and envy was actually love in disguise. You see, I think you wanted to see them be better, not worse. It made you angry, not because you hate them, but because you couldn't stand their situations. You were frustrated by what they were going through, not by who they are. And look at them now. They're better. They've found a way to move beyond their pain and jealousy. Maybe it's time for you to let go of that anger and see them for who they've become.
Nice. All right, I'm going to need you to make another persuasion check.
That's an 8, so I'm going to use another lucky.
What did you roll?
Another goddamn 8. Hey, Tronald, what were your portents for the day?
They were 2 natural ones, if you can believe it. I mean, what are the chances?
All right, Tronald, let's take this seriously now. What actually were your portents?
Fine. I rolled a 14 and an 18.
See, was that difficult?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to use that 18 then, Joe.
Alexandrew, as you finish your words towards hatred, they seem to resonate with him deeply. His fiery red aura dims to that familiar pure white. But then, something unexpected happens. A tempest begins to stir within the chamber, an electric maelstrom born from the union of sadness, envy, and hatred. Their energies swirl and twist together in a dance of light and emotion, the light completely filling the room. In the heart of this storm, a new figure starts to materialize. As the chaotic energies coalesce, they form the figure of a man, one who bears a striking, almost uncanny resemblance to you, but much older. His face, lined with the experiences of years you never shared, holds a depth of unspoken stories, and on his wrist is a tattoo of a snake, intricate in its design. A surge of realization washes over you, and it hits with the force of a physical blow. This man is your father. The father who left you when you were just a child, the man whose absence left a void you've carried with you ever since. The emotional impact is staggering. Memories and feelings long buried rush to the surface. The sense of abandonment, the aching longing, the confusion of a child left with questions that had no answers. All these emotions fill the air, heavy with the weight of a past that never found closure.
Hey, Alex. It's great to see you again. I've missed you so much, son.
You are not my father. You have no right to call me son. You abandoned me at the doors of a temple, telling me you had to do something and that you'd be back. Over 20 years have passed, and not once did you return. You left a child waiting, hoping, and breaking a little more each day. Let me make this abundantly clear. You are nothing to me, so you don't get to stand there and call me son as if nothing happened, as if you didn't rip my world apart. I waited for you every day, every night, just hoping to see your face again, but you never came. Do you have any idea what that did to me? How it felt to grow up knowing I was abandoned, left behind like I meant nothing. You were supposed to be my father, my protector, my guide, but you were none of those things. You were just a shadow, a ghost in my memories. And now here you stand, after all these years, and you expect what? Closure? You are a stranger to me, and whatever bond we might have had, you severed it the day you walked away.
I did it for you, Alex. I was afflicted by a rare disease, known as Pal's Fury. It was a cruel ailment, unlike anything the clerics had ever seen before. I don't know how it happened. Every healer I consulted said it was rare, not contagious, but devastatingly unpredictable. The disease twisted my mind. There were days I couldn't remember who I was, let alone who you were. And then there were the episodes of uncontrolled rage, moments of pure madness where I could have hurt you without even realizing it. The thought of harming my own son, even unintentionally, was unbearable. I kept my condition hidden from you. I thought it was better that way. That the anger of feeling abandoned would propel you to rise, to become strong, independent. I feared that seeing me lost to my own mind, a shell of the man I once was, would drag you down into a pit of despair. Leaving you was the hardest thing I've ever done, but I believed it was the lesser of two evils. I wanted to protect you, not just from the physical danger I might have posed, but from the heartbreak of watching your father deteriorate into a stranger, a danger to himself and others. Alex, I didn't want to abandon you. I wanted to save you from a fate no child should ever face. But in doing so, I realize I caused you a different kind of pain. And for that, I am eternally sorry.
But I would have preferred to be with you, to look out for you until the end, no matter what that meant. Instead, you're right. I was consumed with hatred for you leaving me, but also engulfed in sadness. And yes, I lived a good life under Master Shenzhou, but I didn't have a choice, not like others did. Every day, I've had to watch them, envious of their ability to choose their life, to have something I never did, a family, a father. But I understand now. I've carried these emotions with me every single day. They've been my constant companions. Hatred for your abandonment, envy for those who had the family which I was denied, and sadness for everything we lost, for the time we could never get back. But now, standing here, face to face with you after all these years, I realize that these feelings have shaped me, but they don't have to define me. You thought you were doing the right thing, And maybe, in your situation, it was the best you could do. So, instead of sadness, anger, and hatred, I will carry forgiveness with me from now on. Forgiveness for you. I forgive you, Father.
It's at this point, Alexandrew, as your heartfelt words hang in the air, the space around the spirit, taking the form of your father, begins to shift. The air starts to crackle with energy, becoming turbulent, mirroring the emotional intensity of the moment. The spirit, your father's visage, looks at you with a depth of emotion that transcends the ethereal form he now holds.
Forgiveness. That's all I've ever wanted to hear from you, son.
But wait, Father, are you still out there? Are you alive?
The spirit doesn't respond directly to your question. Instead, he looks at you with a gaze that seems to encompass all those years lost and all the pain endured.
I love you, Alex.
As the spirit of your father's words resonate through the chamber, the form of his spirit begins to wane, its ethereal presence dissolving into the air around you. However, as he fades, something remarkable happens. From where your father's spirit diminishes, a vial materializes out of thin air. It's an exquisite container, ethereal and delicate, yet filled with a substance that glows with an inner light. This vial, appearing seemingly from nowhere, begins to fill with the essence of your father's spirit, a swirling, luminous substance that embodies gratitude, peace, and a profound sense of closure. It's as if the spirit's final act of departure is to leave behind a part of itself. This vial, the vial of spirit essence, now in your possession, contains the essence of the healed spirits, a powerful embodiment of emotional resolution and peace. It holds within it the capacity to calm hostility and bring harmony. As you hold the vial, contemplating its significance, the chamber undergoes another transformation. Where the pool of stars once shimmered at the center of the room, a shimmering portal rips open, its edges glowing with the same ethereal light that filled the vial. This portal, pulsating with energy, seems to beckon you forward, inviting you to step into whatever lies beyond.
I walk up to it, Joe, and then I jump in.
Okay, as you approach the shimmering portal, Alexandrew, you don't hesitate. With a determined stride, you leap into it. In an instant, the world around you blurs into a whirl of colors and sensations. It's a brief, disorienting journey. Then, just as suddenly as it began, you find yourself in an entirely different room. It's a stark contrast to the chamber you just left. As you look around trying to get your bearings, you notice two familiar figures, Tronald and Saxy.
Good job, man.
And I think that's where we will wrap up this session. See you later, guys.